Do it now. Do it good. Lick this just like you should. Right now, lick it good. Lick this just like you should. All right, Instagram is ready. Lick my chest like
Y'all be playing this?
well, I mean, at some point you have to stop it. Yo, oh, you make me laugh, Kiji. It be like that.
I'm alive. All right.
You tell my
We
friend.
live. Huh?
Did you tell my friend I said hi today?
I did. We is live. Did you episode 9, right? Episode 9?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta come on in the room now. Oh, we is live. I'm on. I don't know if this is the right song to be playing in the background. I just left church. Oh.
That's funny you said that. I was thinking about that today. Like, how many of us are aspiring to be, to live our lives in a certain way and to present and show up in a certain way.
But I want balance though, because I want to be able to like
absolutely. But I think a lot of people communicate and present themselves to others as the finished product, and they're not kind of like self-aware that it's not a finished product. It's more the journey, not the destination.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I didn't know you put another album out. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on Glorilla.
Oh,
no, it's true. Like that's the thing now for me too. It's like defining what this is to me now on this journey. It's like I want to, I'm not trying to be. It's not this ain't my grandparents' salvation.
Well, I'm not even just talking about salvation. I'm just talking about like me as a person, like who I aspire to be versus who I am right now.
Okay.
And like when I present myself to people, kind of letting them know like that's who I aspire to be, but that's not necessarily where I am today. So be mindful, and also I'm not Jesus. Like I'm not trying to be like any perfect picture of anything. I'm trying to become the best version of myself. And what that looks like for me and for other people. But it's like grace comes in doses. Grace is not, a river. It doesn't just keep flowing. At some point, the grace is gonna dry up.
Or dry up.
I mean? Like sometimes the grace ain't there. You know what I mean? Like grace is not a river for me. Grace is a moment to moment, a situation by situation, a relationship by relationship type of thing. Because I don't even think like not giving grace is not equivalent to being malicious. So if I tell you I don't have the grace to give you, it doesn't mean that I mean you harm. And it doesn't mean that I have any malice in my heart. It just means I ain't got it for you no more. I think those are two separate things. I think a lot of times.
So, because grace is, I just want to, just understanding, because grace is courteous goodwill.
Yes. And for me, it's also connected to like some type of empathy and understanding.
Okay.
And that doesn't necessarily always, I'm not going to always have that. So don't expect for me to always have grace. I don't want anybody to expect that from me.
Well, I think, yeah, because that also pushes back on the person to have a level of accountability, right?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah,
what am I giving you grace for? Like, grace is like, okay, I'm having a bad day. I may be a little slow to respond, or hey, I may be a little quiet today because I'm having a bad day. I think that's kind of, you know what I'm saying? But like, if it's continued disrespect or continued lack of consideration, that's where you can say, no, I'm not giving you grace here, because that goes back to talking about what boundary setting, right? I require this from you to be in my life, for you to be in my life.
Yeah.
Now there could be a learning curve if this is something foreign to you, but also, do you want someone who, if it's foreign to them, should they be in your That all
that's a big conversation. But for me, it's just like I'm just in this season of my life where I believe in giving people grace, but I do think sometimes in relationships, regardless if they're professional, personal, romantic, whatever it is, people hear the word grace and they give it like a biblical or like this kind of spiritual umbrella, and they think that it's a continuous river, like it just keeps flowing.
No,
I'm not.
Grace is not required. It's not required either way. No one's required to give us grace, and we're not required to give grace. It's like you said, by choice and situation by situation.
Yes. So for me, if I give you grace, it's a decision and it's a choice, and I get to stop it at any time. And then if I choose not to give grace, I can do that also. You know.
Yeah.
But that was just my thought today, just about people and like learning to like navigate different relationships and not, because I don't want to harbor things. So I want to have like, I want to get to a place where, depending on like the extent and how entangled the person is or the relationship is in my life, like, okay, this is no longer working for me. I can no longer participate. But what does that look like? But I think we would all like to say, nah, you do this, that, and the third, and I'm out. But that's just not realistic. Because it really depends on how much you care about the person, how much you've invested in the person, how much you've invested in the thing, how much you've invested. Because like I don't think everybody who is on, you know, people who are trying to constantly grow and become self-aware, I don't think our default is to let go. I think our default is to try to fix it.
Yeah.
And that brings us into what I want. One of the things I wanted to talk about today. Watching you process sometimes tickles me. I just want to say that it tickles me genuinely. I had a really bad headache today, y'all. So I'm drinking my coconut water. I got a really bad sinus thing happening. So excuse me if me drinking water bothers you. I apologize.
Well, I'll be drinking a whole bunch of liquids tonight. I'm gonna be very transparent before we kick off the podcast. I'm drained. I'm very much drained. The work of healing can be a lot. It's very exhausting. I did like a quick story myself. I don't feel like talking about. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to feel about it. I want to like, because healing is not just, oh, I'm healing. Healing is actually applying the things you learn to your relationships, to your life, applying it. And that also calls for you to be stretched. And stretching can leave you sore. Stretching can leave you tired. And so just as much as we're healing, we have to make sure we're resting. And, like we have to operate from a place of rest. So knowing that healing doesn't have to be, like you said, like grace is not a continuous stream. Healing is also, I use that term you use, it's not a continuous stream. You have to, because it's work. It's a lot of work. And it's just been like this first month, these past January and February. I mean, I've already been in my, I've already been transparent, but January and February, you like this life, like you get through one something and then two more things pop up. You're like, I just want a little break. Like I got through the gist of that funk and then two more things pop up and it's kind of like, yeah, okay, this is what we doing. Got it. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay down.
Yeah.
I see it, I hear it, I know what I gotta get back to. I put a bookmark in the healing book. Yeah. I'm gonna just go lay down for a second and come back.
You're gonna lay down and tap back in. And I'm glad that this is a part of one of the things you want to talk about today. Because I had a different idea for my health hack. I think that's what you called it last week, my health hack. And what I want to talk about wellness today is about rest. So I'll get into that.
Okay, perfect.
After I read the description. But I wanted to say this to you, which made me think about what you were just saying about like this journey of like healing. And I think a lot of times when we're communicating like our process, I remember seeing a young Van Zant. She said something about this because it's not just about healing, it's also about growing. So you're not just like exhausted from the healing, you're exhausted from the healing, and then the healing turns into growth. But the thing about it, and I think the part that's consistent in that is, in order for us to grow, we got to be okay with being uncomfortable, one, and we have to be okay with being accountable for ourselves. And I think that's the hardest part of growing through healing, because the moment you become accountable for yourself, you can't blame somebody or something for everything. You literally have to say, how could I have participated in this better? Should I have participated? Did I ignore
when I should have stopped participating?
when should I stop participating? It's like, did I ignore my intuition? Did I not trust myself? Like, that is the part that is exhausting. It's taking accountability for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, that's and sometimes you need rest from that. You just need a break. You need a nap. You need a nap. You need to tap out. Like, you know what? I'm back. I'm gonna tap out. Like, like the church, they give you the church finger.
Church finger.
They tell you
I'm
to
gonna
wait.
head on now. I'm gonna go out into the hallway and make a couple calls. I'll be right back.
Excuse myself. Or when you come to church late and they don't let you in and they like, gotta wait.
Oh yeah, they will lock you out. Her in a heartbeat. Excuse you. Usher got their back to you, like, not now.
Yeah, so it's like you need a break. And I think that's healthy. I think that's a sign of real growth, when you recognize that I need a break from this. I need to tap out. Yeah, I need a little mental break. So welcome to episode 9, y'all.
Episode 9.
Yeah, right. Whoo, child, can you believe it?
Jasmine got me holding on for a couple more episodes. I was like, episode 10, that's it. She was like, Key, let's go back over the calendar. That's not what we agreed to. I was like, 2 more down. She was like, no, not quite.
We got 3 more, y'all. 3 more. Welcome to the H.E.A.L podcast. Join 2 real-life friends and professional women on a journey of self-discovery, growth, and healing. Together, we explore what it means to unpack life's challenges, embrace self-awareness, grow in our spiritual practices, and navigate healing, one honest conversation at a time. This is not a space for giving advice, but rather a place to share tools, tips, and reflections that have inspired us along the way. Whether you're looking for clarity, connection, or curiosity-driven dialogue, you're in the right place. Let's hold each other accountable with love as we grow together. Hey, y'all.
Hold it on. Let's hold each other. Sometimes you gotta hold me up.
Get a grip. You gotta just get a grip.
Get a real good grip. A real good grip.
So rest, because we started talking about this already.
I gave you some names for this thing. What is this segment called again? Did we say the health hack? Jasmine's health hack?
Yeah, you said health hack. I'm fine with that. So,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, we'll figure it out over time. It's almost the end of the first season.
Season 2.
Season 2, we'll have something clear. So, rest is essential for overall well-being, right? For overall well-being, productivity, and long-term health. So, here are the benefits of rest. Improves cognitive function. Sometimes your brain needs a break. Supports physical health. Enhances emotional well-being. Right? Rest will allow you to make better decisions and also have better reactions when people are foolish. Boost creativity and productivity. Regulate hormones and metabolism. Like, rest is a really hard thing for me to get, and like when I don't sleep well, everything be off. And it prevents burnout, and that's what Kiki has been talking about. And it also strengthens your immune functions. So the more rest you get, they always tell you when you was growing up, drink some water, some chicken soup, and Black folks love ginger ale. And then go take a nap, go lay down, because the more you rest, the more your immune system can kind of regenerate. So here are some examples of ways to get rest, because guess what? Sleep is not the only type of rest. And we have to really understand that going to sleep doesn't work for everybody in the middle of the day, or everybody has a different sleep schedule. I won't get into circadian rhythm and all of that, but rest can look like different things for different people. Okay, so physical rest is sleep, napping, stretching, or massage therapy. A good massage will really knock you out. Like, a good massage will put you to sleep. I love a good massage. All right, mental rest. So taking deep breaths, journaling, Kiki, Stepping away from a screen, like walking away from the TV, walking away from your phone. That is a good mental rest. And then finally, last but never least, meditation. And I know there's a lot of conversation around meditation. You do not have to be completely like you don't need to completely cut off your brain in order for you to have a successful session of meditation. But we can get into that in season 2. um, Emotional rest, therapy, self reflection. So this is emotional. Like this podcast is a form of emotional rest for me. I can't speak for Kiki, but it allows me to kind of like turn my. Why are you laughing?
Because you said you can't speak for Kiki. I'm like, Kiki, sometimes it's not rest for me. Like it's more draining.
I didn't want to say that. But
that's why I laughed. I knew what you were saying. That's why you asked me why I laughed. You know why I know why. You know why.
No. Because I wanted you to say it. I want to make sure. Remember we talked about not having to make any assumptions.
All right. Communication. First, hi, Christine. Sorry.
All right. Emotional rest, therapy, self-reflection, engaging in hobbies, and spending time with loved ones. Social rest is taking breaks from social interactions when feeling drained or engaging with supportive friends. So I do consider this podcast at times like a form of rest. Yeah. Sensory rest is reducing exposure to bright lights, noise, and screens to prevent overstimulation. And creative rest, enjoying nature, listening to music, or engaging in a different creative activity to refresh the mind. So like finding a new hobby, going outside. I remember earlier I told you when I had the headache, I went outside and sat in the sun for a little bit just to kind of like help my headache go away. But I have like a sinus headache, so it's kind of going away slowly. But yeah, so this week, y'all, if y'all can find some different ways, what is wrong with me today? It's that headache. Some different ways to rest and like, just relax yourself if possible. Deep breaths also, and not only when people getting on your nerves, because I've learned to take deep breaths. No, seriously, because
general, you're right. I'm laughing.
My introduction into taking deep breath is when I was working with youth. And like working with young people consistently, you have to take deep breaths because you want to be like, yo, who raised you? But you can't talk to kids like that. And I was very cognizant of how I talk to other people's children. So I learned to take deep breaths then. But then when I started doing meditation, I would like actually like take a few minutes in a day, just walk out of a room, even if I'm not bothered, and just take long, deep breaths. And people are like, you're right. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm fine. I'm doing this so that I don't cut somebody out later.
Yeah, what I haven't been doing consistently is more. I need to increase is my meditation. I know that definitely helps me recenter, and I start to feel it like in my shoulders. So I carry a lot of my stress and my tension is here, and I'm tense right now because I know I'm carrying it. Right, so maybe also because I'm sitting in this chair versus the couch where I'm typically at. I changed locations. I'm trying something different today. So I don't know. It might just be the chair. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. I have a lumbar pillow here, so we'll see. But anyway, yeah, so like sometimes for me, like I get mental exhaustion. Just like this could be a lot for me sometimes because I'm a mix. I can be extroverted, but I'm also introvert. So like this can be draining to me at times. I guess it depends where I'm at. Like I'm already kind of feeling like a little blah. And so like I'm gonna try to pick up my energy for the sake of the podcast, but just being real transparent, sometimes it's mental exhaustion. Just like I'm tired of thinking, I'm tired of processing my own emotions. Just the exhaustion of navigating different things and like that. Like even yesterday I came home and I was like, the kids knew I was like, I'm gonna go lay down. I picked up some dinner. And I went in my room. I did some creative. I did some podcast work that was like helped me creatively. I worked on like a personal post. I was like writing out some ideas. We talked about something. I did my post today about the reel I made today about like what you see versus what could be happening in someone's reality, right? And you kind of pushed on that, like, because we can see people post and do things, but that doesn't mean they're okay. And so I was like, you know what? That just call for a self-reflection for me because I know there's many times I could be on this app and not be okay. Like Like we talked about last Sunday, you wasn't feeling it last Sunday. Today, I'm not quite feeling it, but we're on here doing the things that we love to do and that we're purpose to do. So many of us are showing up every day in our lives and not okay. And that's okay to be not okay. And being not okay doesn't necessarily mean like something like a huge crisis. It's just like, yo, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling 100% today, or I'm just exhausted, to your point, and prioritize and rest. So thank you for those tips, and definitely on topic of what we both are thinking about in different ways. Like the overall topic is a conversation on growth, right? And like you said, like a part of this journey and growth is understanding the different steps and different ways in which we grow, which includes rest. So how do you want to kind of do this conversation? Because we both had ideas. So how do you want to approach this?
So before I answer that, I want to say something to you, and I want to affirm something. And it's interesting that, like the way you said it, like today when I saw your post about like, nobody really knows what's going on like behind the scenes. And even in that, right, because I don't want it to sound like come off as if it's a responsibility of you, but even the way you show up when you're feeling drained and overstimulated is inspiring to somebody else. And it can be like you can be doing the bare minimum, but from the other lens, it's like Kiki is showing up and she's pushing through. And it's dope that you acknowledge that, hey, I'm not feeling 100% like myself, but there's somebody else that is like looking at you and they're like, but you can't see it. You know what I'm saying? And in some ways that inspires people.
Absolutely.
Like for instance, in a perfect world, I would wear hoodies and have my hair up in a bun every day, right? And I realized that today because after I saw your post, I was thinking, I was like, you know what? Kiki don't feel up to it today. I've been having a headache since yesterday. I ain't doing nothing. I'm gonna throw a hoodie on and I'm just gonna push my hair in a headband. And it's like, I'm like, nah, because I know no matter how she feel, she gonna come with a look today.
I'm about to put some shades on because my eyes are so tired.
But no,
but I text Master like, yo, give me some shades because my eyes are so
seriously, like, but you
light killing my eyes.
But you inspire, like you inspire and you like kind of motivate me to be conscious. Because remember, I work remotely. I'm home by myself all the time. I can walk around my house looking however I want.
That's right.
I don't have to put any effort into my appearance on a everyday basis. And sometimes that is not always the best thing either. Sometimes you get stuck in a rut of like, oh, I'm just gonna get up in the morning and brush my teeth, wash my face, take a shower, and throw a moo on. You don't put the extra like into yourself. But coming here and like being in this space with you, I'm conscious of it because you do lifestyle effortlessly.
This is literally I sat in front of the camera and was like, okay, I gotta make this look because at first I started with the t-shirt and I was like, that looks too plain. I look crazy. I was like, I need a hat. I was like, now I gotta do the gold chain.
But you do it so effortlessly. So it's like not to dismiss that you're tired and you're overstimulated, but I'm just thankful that even if you're at 50% right now, your 50% is enough to inspire somebody else.
Well, thank you, Nasto. Listen, one thing I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna put it on, girl. Hey, I ain't gonna do nothing else. I hear my Uncle Me. My Uncle Me passed on. One thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put it on. One thing we're gonna do rest. That's one thing my uncle. I miss him, but yo, that Negro could. We gonna for Mama too. We gonna put it on now. We gonna step even when we don't feel like it.
The elders used to say, you don't need to look like what you're going through.
Not at all.
I think for us, our generation, like as we've gotten older, we don't look like what we're going through, but we express that we're going through something. Hey, I may look good right now, but I'm going through something. You know what I'm saying? Be mindful.
Listen,
I told somebody that at work one day. That got me in trouble, but that's a whole.
You gonna be mindful?
I told them
because I know the way you said it though. You didn't say
I said it. I said it to be effective. I said it to give off what it needs to give off. He got it.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah, I said be mindful of what you said.
Hold on. I'm gonna mute my micro.
Oh man, life is. Oh, I'm trying to find my joy. That's all I'm doing.
I don't want to yell. I don't want to do the black mother yell like mad at. I don't want to do that in y'all ears. So I'm respecting y'all ears and muting the mic while I scream off to my child at a distance. Hey everybody who's joining us. Hey Shakira. Just saying hi, trying to check in with everybody join us.
Hey,
yeah, my eyes, like even in church today, I wear frames. I do prescription and non-prescription frames. They're black frames in the top, those drawers. Pull out, you find it. And my eyes are just sensitive to light. Even at church, I was in the front row, first of all, the front row of church today. Crazy. Whoa. Thank God I had to connect because it was packed today. We had Legacy Sunday, and I had a friend come with me today. Mm-hmm. Yeah. These are not so dark, but these are going to help with this. Oh, Jesus. Okay. I'm not being dramatic. My eyes are very sensitive. So, yes, it's going to be given like I'm giving a look. But this is really because my eyes, this spotlight is killing me right now. I need a little something. Sorry, y'all.
You can't help herself, y'all.
My eyes are sensitive today.
You don't got no boring accessories, compliment, like nothing in her house that's not complimentary. So it's okay. Those are cute though.
Thank you, Amazon. But this helps to
shades, light a little bit. I can't wear glasses. That's not prescription.
Why not? You have contacts?
It feels weird to me.
But these are like these are my party shades. They're not dark. I don't like dark shades in the club. Like I don't go to the club, but if I go to a party or evening event, these are like the perfect like tint where they're not too dark, but they're dark enough, so I could be in a club and have I keep saying I don't be in the club, but I'm out in the lounge, maybe a bar. I don't know, maybe a party, more like a party, and I want a little bit of tint, but I don't want complete blackout because I can be dark on dark. Just don't work. I can't see. I'm too old for that. I can't. I'm a fall. I'm a trip. But
you know what you should do? Maybe for next season, when we come back, you should create like a checklist.
For what?
Like in essentials, like accessories.
Oh, a fashion checklist.
Like a fashion checklist.
Okay,
I don't be thinking about.
Well, that's how I built my wardrobe was by. That's another topic. But I built my wardrobe based on I intentionally built a wardrobe based on foundational pieces, and I'm still not where I want to be. But like, I did study that, and that I did study.
How many people in your chat right now?
2. I don't know if Christine's still here, but
okay. But anyway, how many people actually talk about their wardrobe? Talking about like my foundational pieces. That's not. People are like, oh, I got some basics. I got some classics. You approach clothing, fashion, and accessories from a very like strategic way. I think it would be you might be able to help some people because I know I'll be calling you and Jasmine like, what should I do with this? Because
Yeah, and I do call in my younger folks sometimes. Christina, who's on the line, and she's in my chat when I'm not quite sure because I'm an older millennial, and so I like to make sure like I do tap into. I use the younger folk to kind of help me out. Like tell Auntie if she's doing this right. If I'm, and she's like, you got it. Okay, let me know. I'm not big on trends, but I do like some trends. I think are like the scarf and the kind of fitted hat type of thing. I like stuff like that. I may play with certain seasonal colors, but I'm not gonna go out and buy all the things. But I'll try to like if I see a current trend, I'll make my interpretation of using what I got. Unless it's something I really, really love, I'll buy it. But that's few and far between. I really try to keep a classic wardrobe. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I grew up in like reading fashion magazines. I made my own fashion portfolio for women of like day, like workwear, evening, all the things. I wish I could find it was a Redwell, and it had different looks cut out. Yeah. At one point, I think I wanted to be a stylist.
Yeah, I like nice things. I like to look nice, but like I told you, I have the spirit of a very wealthy woman. I just want people to do it for me. The only thing I really want to be responsible for is bathing. That's the only thing I don't want nobody to do.
Excuse me? I'm sorry?
Bathing.
Bathing as in washing your behind?
Yes. That's the only thing I want to do.
Soap and water?
That's the only thing I want to do for myself is bathe myself. After I bathe, I want someone to lay out my outfit and do my hair. And then let me go about my business. I listen, it is what it is. And then, and then in my house, I don't want nobody in my kitchen. I don't want nobody cooking for me I don't want nobody in my kitchen. But all of the other parts, I just need somebody to come in and do it. Pay them and they go about their business. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
This wasn't expecting the
that's
bathe part. Hey, Ralphie, because Ralphie popped in.
well,
I wasn't expecting you to say that was because, like, yeah, that just was like, I wasn't expecting that comment. Like, what you mean, bathe yourself? Of course you want to bathe, but like, you want to be that rich? Like, you want to be like Coming to America rich, where they didn't bathe you in the bathtub? Like, I don't know. So most somebody watched it. I don't know. I don't know. I just wasn't expecting that comment. That was a lot.
Yes, if I could be that wealthy, where the only thing I had to be responsible for is bathing myself, that is okay. Yes, that is it.
Okay, you know, like I heard somebody say today, I want all I want to do is pay utilities. Like that's how all my day. I don't want to pay nothing but utilities. I was like, I like that. I just pay utilities and wash my butt. How about that? I like that list. That's cool.
I want.
How about wait? Do you want them to feed you though? But you also want to feed yourself, correct? You want a spoon?
Yeah, I said in the kitchen. I don't want nobody. Yeah, anything to do with food and like anything to do with hygiene and food and stuff. I don't want. You can clean,
right,
clean, and just pick out my outfits and my clothes for the week.
Okay, all right, cool.
That's my all right. That's a part of my.
I wish that I pray that comes to that you manifest that and that comes.
That's on my bucket list. If I could listen, if I could at least get that for a week,
yeah,
it would be fulfilled. I would take it, even if it's just for a week.
Okay.
Yeah, a day is not for you. Yeah, me too. So, getting back to your original question about what this episode was going to be called, it was letting go and leaning in.
Oh, that's what it was. I missed that whole scene. I missed that whole part of the first part of the thing. I just read a conversation on growth. Didn't even notice that. First of all, I didn't notice this whole agenda until today at 4:00 because she sent it to me like 5 days ago. No, not 5, but it definitely was.
We was in the throes of a conversation. That's why you missed it.
Okay, so let it go. When you sent it to me yesterday? Mm-hmm. Oh, we was in a throw. We was in a throw of a conversation. Okay, so letting go and leaning in a conversation on growth.
So what are you letting go of this week? Let's keep it small. Let's keep it small and let's zoom in as much as we could. Matter of fact, this is the end of February. Okay, so what are you letting go and leaning into as this first quarter comes to the end? And we're, yeah. Yo, I can't stand you. Okay, for the week.
Because I'm trying to contemplate. This is what I'm contemplating. In my mind, it goes, so you say the first thing that comes to mind? Do you want to play that game?
Whatever.
Or so the first thing that comes to mind is just BS. Like, honestly, straightforward, just BS. I'm letting go of BS. Whatever that means to me, that's how I'm letting go. Like, I think BS to me is like anything that's like, doesn't deserve my effort, my energy. Does not deserve. I'm not going to unpack that. I'm going to leave it high level. The BS for me is letting go anything that doesn't serve me, anything that does not add to add value. That's BS to me at this time. So letting go of BS. That's what I'm letting go of.
Okay.
Unnecessary efforts.
I have questions.
No, we're not doing it today.
I just said I'm not
high level. This is my boundary today. Today, on this day,
I respect your boundaries.
We're not unpacking. We're gonna leave it high level. That's all I got for you. Don't push it. All right. I will exit the stage quickly. Figuratively and literally, I will exit stage.
Don't hurt me, Keosha. I respect your boundaries. I said okay.
Cheers.
What are you leaning into?
I'm leading into more being more intentional about my spiritual growth.
Okay, so
I like that. Good answer. Okay.
So I just want to make sure I have a clear understanding. Everything today that you answer is just going to be the high level answer and
high
no descriptive.
So we'll check back in about what.
So no, I'm saying so. Everything that we talk about, you're just going to give like the umbrella, not the pieces.
Yeah, unless I feel that otherwise, I'll give you a.
Okay, cool. I'm just asking for clarity, so I don't be asking the same damn question. Now, do you want to ask me some questions? Because I feel like
Jasmine. Sure. No, I mean, listen. Well,
I feel like that's the direction this is going in. Like, Jasmine, so what are you leaving?
No, I mean, we're going ping pong. We're going ping pong. You know, you may have a little bit more words than I do today. I don't have a lot of words. This is Kiosha when she's a little, I don't got a lot of words. I don't got a lot of words. I could be very loquacious. And the other days, I could be real quiet. I could be quiet. And I'm learning, and you know what? Another part of leaning in. What I'm leaning into?
Can you define that word for me?
Loquacious? Hold on. I'm going to give you that because I'm hold on. Excuse me. You know, I like my... I want to give it the...
You know, I like these episodes where we don't have a guest and it's like we're just like going with it in the moment. Because you entertain me even when you're not
loquacious. 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 Tending to talk a great deal. Talkative. Yeah. And I've been told that I can be quite loquacious. And sometimes I'm not. Okay, it's not a stream, like you said, it's not a continuous stream. It ebbs and flows of it. But I'm leaning into, I think my tendency to talk a lot sometimes. Oh, so sorry. Before I start, hey Jazz, she said she missed us, and Jazz, your hair is cute. Your Jasmine is saying your hair is cute. Don't you like it? Remember she wouldn't grow it out at one time. Look at it, it's flourishing. She's flourishing. All the things. She's what's that word? What's that phrase they say? She's shaking the buildings. She's shaking the buildings.
Kiki.
It's not shade. It's a phrase. It's a popular phrase.
Oh, girl,
don't you look good? Shaking the buildings. Listen. So back to what I was saying. I'm learning the power of delayed responses. Because I'm a quick responder. I'm a very responsive person, even a text message. Sometimes it'll be a lag, but I'm a very responsive person in general. And I'm learning across the board the power of delayed responses and taking the time, even in emails, like taking the time to like take a sit back. You saw this back to me this week. Let me read that. Let me sit on it. Let me type what I'm feeling, but I'm even sit on my response before I even send it, right? Because I want to make sure that I'm doing some things before I even respond. One thing, I am leading into prayer more and asking God to show me in every little thing, like, guys, I'm supposed to be saying, I'm supposed to be doing this. I feel this way, but I don't mean it's right. So I'm doing a lot of self-checking and like checking in with God. Not self-check, but just checking with my higher power and like keeping myself in check with that. So that's why I'm being more quiet, is because I'm being strategic in how I move forward. And that's building my strength in that area. I know that in this next stage of my life, it's going to require me to be less reactive, more prayerful, and mindful of the things I say. So that's yeah. Okay, so is it your turn?
I mean, if you don't have anything else to add, that's up to you.
I think that's all I have to add on that, because I said that I'm stepping away from. I want to use a proper term. My iPad locked up on me. So the proper term was I'm letting go of BS. That's a high level. I didn't want to really expound on that, but just be anything that doesn't serve me, I'm letting go and leaning into. I said being more quiet. Did I say that originally? I forgot what I said. My mind is not really sharp today. Less loquacious and delayed responses. Just being more mindful of what I say. So Jasmine, on this February 23rd, getting into the last month of the quarter, Q1, what are you letting go?
I'm letting go of 2024 and everything that came. I've been people have been asking me, how you doing? How's the new job? How's everything going? And like I've just been like, I'm repairing, right? And then like at some point in the last couple of weeks, repairing has been a little bit overwhelming. So now I feel like I'm going into this stage of rebuilding and repurposing. Because when it was happening, 2024 felt like it was gutting me. Like it was literally like taking like the best parts of me away. Like, you know what I mean? I saw this picture. I got it. I saved it on my phone. I gotta find the outfit so I can recreate the picture. So I found this picture from like 2021, February 21st. It was February 21st, 2021. And that was like at the height of when I had lost like the 60 pounds and I had like been working out and I had lost like, you know, like I had just I was feeling good in my body at that time. And I looked at the picture and I was just like, oh girl, we got to get back there. And it's not from an aesthetic, but just I remember when I took that photo and how I felt. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to change my language. So I'm letting go of the idea of repairing. I'm no longer repairing. Like whatever has stayed, whatever is here now in 2025, it's here. And we just going to repurpose and we're going to rebuild. Right? I'm rebuilding. I have more tools. I have more life experience. I have more clarity. I have more points of growth. So yeah. So now I feel like I'm going into this like repurposing and rebuilding. And I don't and in this season of my life, like going into like the rest of this year, I want to isolate less.
Okay.
And I think in order for me to isolate less, I have to be really, really clear on what I can do, what my intuition is telling me to do, and what I don't want to do. So it's like what I can do, what God is telling me I should do, and what I want to do. I gotta find a balance between the three of them. And then I'm leaning. Okay, so
hey, let me ask you.
Sorry.
Who's on the interview here?
I caught myself.
Jeez Louise. Calm it down.
Listen,
Don't be jumping ahead.
Sorry.
Okay, Jazz. That was a great answer. Thank you so much. We love that, guys, right? Okay, great. So listen, now, thank you for your vulnerability. We appreciate you. What are you leaning into in this season, as we in this Q1?
I'm leaning into joy. And I was thinking about today there's a woman that I follow on Instagram. She's a professor. She's really dope. And I don't want to butcher her name. But on Instagram, her name is Yaba Blay, right? And she is a professor. She has a podcast. I think she's amazing. But she put up this post today, and it was just about like how resistance and activism also includes us having joy and us finding rest. And I remember when the last time I went to the African American Museum in DC, I remember watching something because I've been quite a few times, but the last time I went by myself, when I got sick and I had to go to the emergency room, but that's a whole other conversation. So, I'll tell you about that later. Okay. So I went, and as I was watching like some of the filming, like they have like this section when you can just watch a film.
Yeah.
If you haven't been to the Smithsonian in DC, the African American, please go. Please go. And she came up on the screen, and I forgot everything she was talking about, but she's just really dope. And she put up that post today, and I was just thinking about, for me, I feel like in the last few months, I don't laugh as much as I used to. I don't focus on laughter as much as I used to. And if you know me in real life, I love to laugh. Like I find humor in all the things. And I think I have a really good sense of humor. And then I've seen this clip of like, I can't think of his name. Black dude, older dude, he died not too long ago. He used to be always talking shit to people about like black.
Eric Gray, the politician, or somebody else?
He's an actor. I think he was. Oh God, it'll come to me. I can't think of his name right now.
Okay.
But he was just talking about like how laughter is like always the best medicine. He was a comedian,
Paul
but I
Mooney?
just no, not Paul Mooney. Paul
Oh,
Mooney,
I
but
love me
Paul
some
Mooney.
Paul Mooney.
Yeah, me too. He has said this too, but I just want to get back to like being lighter and like laughing
Okay.
more. And I feel like my joy comes when I'm not resisting my current state.
Mm.
So I'm accepting
Joy
where I am.
comes when you're not resisting your current state.
Yes. And it's just like,
Okay.
you want me to expand? You about to say something?
We can circle back because I feel like that's a heavy like
No, I
when you're
mean, because
not
no, when I,
resisting.
yeah, your current state. Because I feel like for these last few months, and even like thinking about the podcast, like right, and these conversations I've been having about like gaining all this weight back, having all these health conditions, right? Like I told you, and like my health conditions are not like conditions that's gonna land me in the hospital and in an emergency room hooked up to IVs and stuff. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like me taking a step back and like no self-loathing, like just being very present in where I actually am. Yes.
Yeah.
I've gained like 60 pounds, right? Yes, I'm having a hard time getting it off. Also, I'm about to turn 45.
Jesus.
I got hormone problems. I got all kinds of stuff happening. But guess
45?
What? I'm about to be 45.
Damn. Like Kevin Hart said, damn, 45.
Yes,
Almost 50.
I'm about to be, shut up. Anyway, I'm about to be 45. And it's just like, as I'm growing, my body is changing and my metabolism is changing and it's not getting better. It's getting more challenging. But with all of that being said, I have so much to be thankful for. Like, you know, like my life could have been like things could have been very different for me this year, like in this season. So I just want to like I just been thinking about like even today I woke up with a headache and like I can deal with all kinds of physical pain. I can deal with my joint pain. A headache will take me out. Like don't talk to me. I don't want to do anything. But I did what I needed to do to get the headache to go down. But it's just like I just want to come up out of that because I just life is so precious and it's so short. And it's like we focus on so many things. And it's like sometimes, yo, it's crazy. Oh God, this is so layered, Kiki.
I know because I just Googled it, like what you said, and it's brought up so much.
And it's like I've seen so much life and death in my life. And I remember being cognizant of how quick death could come used to be it used to guide my decisions. But it used to guide my decisions from a place of like
scarcity.
Yes.
Or lack.
Right?
Yeah.
But
scarcity
now
time.
Yes. So but now I'm looking at it from the opposite way. I'm still here. Whoever's not here is no longer here.
Yeah.
So it's like now it's like I'm here. Like
I got all this time to do.
I got time
everything.
to focus, to like to be present.
Maybe not all this time, but I have the time right now, the present to do the things.
Today.
This came up, radical acceptance. I'm going to radically accept.
Yes.
The role of least resistance, right? And we pretty much saying the same thing. I'm releasing the BS. It's like I'm not.
It's like listen,
it is what it is.
Listen, if I'm not your cup of tea, I'm not your cup of tea. Cool. Peace be on to you. You know what I'm saying?
It's simple. Radical acceptance. And you know, like
yeah. So that's on the other side of joy for me. So it's like
isn't that the serenity prayer? Like releasing the things we can't control. Serenity. Like is that what's the prayer? I may be saying it wrong. You know me. I don't be saying things correctly.
Grant me the serenity.
Yeah, but is it called the serenity prayer? Is that what it's called?
The serenity prayer. Yeah.
Yeah. Like this, I want to live in a space of radical acceptance. Like I want to get to the place. Did I cut you off? Let me stop.
No, you did, but I want you to. It's okay. My thought was already written down. I want you to expand. Finish it. It's okay.
I feel like it's a trap into loquaciousness. I don't know.
It's not.
I feel like
because
when you said you're not resisting your current state, how I process things. So I Googled it and it brought up a couple things. The one thing that really stood out to me is radical acceptance, but just like accepting your present situation without fighting against it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm able to get a step further with my faith because I trust God. So it's like, okay, I want to get to the point, and I'm still this. It's not a stream right now. I want my faith to be a stream. That's one thing I want to be a consistent stream. I don't want it to be situational. I want my faith to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not perfect, and that's okay. And we're not going to get it right, but that's an area in which I've been like kind of having some. Am I doing this right? Because I don't feel like my faith be as strong as some days it be stronger than others. But if I have a little bit, then the word says the faith of a mustard seed. I have a little bit of faith. Like so some days it don't feel as strong. So I'm letting go, even sometimes, and I've let go. And I've committed to trusting God. But there's some days it's just like this trusting God is ghetto at times. Not God is not ghetto, but the process in which I am operating in can feel ghetto and draining at times.
Okay.
But that's okay too. But it's just like accepting all of that. Accepting some days it's not gonna be your faith won't be so strong. But he told us but I think, and this is what amazing thing about God is that he knows all this about us. He knows there's gonna be days when we are not going to feel our strongest in our faith. And that's why he says, if you just have the size of a faith, the size of a mustard seed, because he knows sometimes that's all we're going to have. You see how strategic he's about us? Like he knows way in advance. Like, sis, I already know. I know he's going to get your nerves. Your job will get your nerves. And you'll be like, what else? And all I got is this little piece, Jesus. I know you can do it. So I got today.
It's like it's so small you can't even see it.
I can't even see it. If I drop it in the carpet, it's gone. It's gone.
But
you know it's that.
But you know
it's there. Because you know the number of hairs on my head. That's the Bible says. So you know my faith is there, even when I'm not fully operating in it. You know, so you just sparked that little thought.
I think radical acceptance is a dope way to put it, because
I love that.
What I'm thinking, right, it's like kind of like if you use the analogy of like when you're driving a car, right? Everything that has already happened is behind us. When you're moving forward, you can't constantly keep looking back. It's a safety hazard. You have to stay.
And you notice, yes.
And you got.
And the rear mirror is much smaller than the windshield ahead of you. It's there. You see it.
It's there. You know every once in a while.
And you peep, then you're gonna crash. Yeah,
exactly. And I think that's a part of acceptance, because me staying so focused on everything I lost or everything that that didn't work out well in 2024, and there's a whole list of the things, right? But me focusing on that list and trying to repair every single thing that happened, I could just be putting my energy into new creative things. Because even like this podcast, right? Like even our conversation, like we mapped, like, like not to share too much, but like we mapped out the next 2 seasons of this podcast in like an impromptu conversation, because that's the world that we both live in strategically, right? From operations, like that's what we do professionally. And it was just like, I remember a year ago, 6 months ago, having a hard time being by myself in my guest room, trying to create a podcast by myself. And it didn't feel authentic. But here I am 6 months later on episode 9. And now I'm talking to somebody. We're in totally different spaces in our lives. You know what I'm saying? But we also have these things in common.
Yeah.
And it's like, look where God got me. So it's kind of like, I can't stay back into what I wasn't able to do successfully. What am I doing successfully right now? And successfully I'm doing right now, this podcast, I keep waking up.
I'm breathing.
I'm waking up.
In and out. Inhale, exhale.
And I'm drinking a lot of water. And the things, and then like with the leaning into the joy, it's like moving my body more, getting back to, my yoga, getting back to being able to like walk 3 to 5 miles a day, like just trying to get these injuries and this joint pain in order, like, but not from what I lost, but like, this is where I am now. How do I move forward with all of these things? So yeah, I just want to get back to being happy and finding joy. Like, Even if it's once a week.
I'm sorry. You don't think you're happy now?
I'm content.
Or you would be happier.
I think I'm content. I think I'm just not. I think I'm just naturally not a miserable person.
Right.
I think
like
that's my
just your
baseline.
natural. Okay,
that's just this is my natural disposition. I'm not a nasty person. So it's like it's hard for people to shut up, Kiki.
No, I wasn't about you. My mom, you know my thoughts. I'll be stopped popping up. And
no,
I like
when I said it and you made the face, I thought about two things that I'm not gonna say publicly.
That's
but
delayed responses. You see what I'm talking? I'm leaning into.
Okay, I gotta learn to not respond to your facial expressions because
I know I can't. It's okay. I know. I don't have a poker face.
But yeah, but I think that's a part of it because I'm naturally not a miserable person on a day-to-day.
Right.
So it's hard for people to tell when I'm low or when I'm high because I got to kind of tell you.
We have to communicate.
I have to communicate it because I'm not like a hey everybody. That's not me. But I'm also like, hey, good morning. How you doing? That's not me. I live somewhere in the middle. And that's how I am all the time. But like right now, I'm not happy. I'm content. I'm thankful. I'm very thankful.
I don't like that, but it's your truth.
Well, you don't like
I don't
that.
like you saying you're not happy. Yeah, this is like my honest reaction. I don't like that.
I won't say I don't like that. I understand.
That's the truth. I respect it.
We're gonna work on it. I'm not happy, but I'm thankful.
Okay.
I'm very thankful. I have a lot of gratitude. And I am content. I remember the other day when I told you when the guys came in here and fixed my my bed frame. Mm-hmm. That made me happy. Like those men coming in here and fixing this damn bed frame in like 20 minutes without me having to say anything or do anything. That made me happy.
I need your happiness to be well, no. Well,
okay, I know what you mean when you say need, but go ahead and express your thought because I'm curious.
Because I would like for your happiness. So happiness is a state of being happy. Okay, but what does happy mean? Excuse me. Hold on, because I want to make sure.
You made me think of the movie.
Happy. Feeling of showing pleasure. Okay, well, no, because you said you're content. So the definition, number one says feeling of showing pleasure or contentment. Okay. Number two says have a sense of confidence in or satisfaction with a person, arrangement, or situation. So I think you're happy. I don't think you're a sad individual. Like you're not sad. I don't think you're walking around and operating a place of sadness. So if we look at
that's a good
definition. Maybe you should change your language around that. Jasmine, what do you think about that, Jazz? Maybe she should change her language around that.
No. Wait.
Maybe she
should. Time out. Because I do have moments of sadness. But I think overall I'm content. And I think the sadness comes from me having to let go of what was.
Okay.
But so I think
situational. But
yes.
I feel about your life overall. It's the saddest situational. So I feel like you're happy. But if we look at the definition, I believe that you do operate in a space of you're happy.
I'm content.
I'm not trying to force it on you. But
I feel like you are, but it's okay. I don't like the word happy.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever. But how
you give up on me that quick? On live?
I'm not giving up. Like I'm not here to change your mind. Like you are, this is your truth. So like again, the BS of trying to control people's thoughts. I'm not doing that. We're letting go of that. That's what you want to say. You want to stay there? I gave you. I led you to the water. You decided to go left. I'm not gonna listen. I'm not gonna force you. You'll come to it in your own time. Okay? I'm gonna give you my idea. I'm gonna let it there. I'm gonna place it at your feet. You decide you want to pick it up. You want to pick it up? You pick it up. I'm not gonna do that with you. No. I just told you I'm gonna let go.
Tell you, your ability for comic relief is yo.
I'm not doing it. But you did inspire me on something when you talked about joy.
Yeah.
Joy for me also this weekend. I reminded myself of tapping back into my friendship. Like I stopped by and saw a friend this weekend because I was in Queens for the day, and I was like, "Who am I gonna see? I'm being Queens for the day." I was like, "I'm friends of Queens," and I just remembering to tap into and connect with my friends more often. Because a lot of times we get like because you said like. I think you said I remember the words verbatim, but you saying something like spending so much time alone.
Yeah, coming out of isolation.
Coming out of isolation. So like I called my girl, like, hey girl, what you doing? I was like, look, I know it's last minute, but I'm in Queens. You doing anything? She said, you can stop by. She's like, I have plans, but I got a few hours. I said, let's stop by. We just sat and just connected, but that felt so good and it filled me up, and I hope it filled her up too. Like just to see each other and kind of like, hey girl, we've been friends over 15 years, and like, just good to like, we ain't got to, it's not dressed up. I'm chilling, you chilling, and we just sit back and talk. And then I was able to, we went our separate ways, but it was just good. I'm like, I got to remember and be more intentional about tap leaning in. And it's funny because then after my day ended, I stopped at ShopRite and I run into another longtime friend. I was like, that was just confirmation to me. Like, I was like, hey girl, we got to get up. I'm like, you're right. So it was just like confirmation again, like the joy of friendship as well. And like, staying connected and checking in with my friends more often. I don't do it as much as I should. And so that's something that I want to lean more into. You just inspired that when we were talking about that.
I'm glad. You know me, like I love to travel. So I used to travel back to New York to see y'all, like to see folks all the time. When I was, at my other job. And then I would also go visit like my friends and my family in Cali. And I haven't been there since like 2023. And like when I made that work trip home, that was really quick. It was only a couple of days. That was like the first time I had been home since 2023. And I think that's a part of my isolation too. Is just like not having resources to travel the way I used to. And like kind of just being like getting, I think it took for me to like just accept, like you can't afford to do the things you used to do anymore. That's not
for now. This is temporary. It's temporary. It's temporary.
Yeah, temporary. But yeah, you gotta be honest with yourself. No, stop shopping. Yeah. You can't buy flights. You can't fly back and forth anymore. So yeah, I think that's a part of my isolation. But now it's like
that's wisdom too. That's wisdom to knowing like today, the message he was talking about legacy. He said in a legacy you have to know how to operate so you can leave a legacy. And to your point, like I don't have it right now, but I'm gonna sit still for this moment in wisdom so I can build myself back up so I can do the things that I want to do and create legacy for whatever that means. So the next point that you created in this agenda, Miss Shirley, you want to come back, just ping pong. So we did the first two. They want to ping back to you and ask me the questions. Because we got points 3 and 4. How you want to do this?
You could go first this time. Ask me first.
Okay, great. So the next point is the tension between the two. So this is why is it so hard to surrender? So what the tension between the two of letting go and leaning in is what you're saying. Is this what your vision was with this question? I want to make sure I got insights. I know what I'm asking the questions. I know what I'm asking. Okay, so the tension between letting go and leaning in. Right. Like we were holding a rubber band. No, it's not the great analogy. Never mind. Let's just go.
I think that's a good one. Because it's all connected. A rubber band is connected.
Because because letting go. You let go, you're gonna pop your hand. I don't want that. I don't like that. It's do over. Different analogy. Okay. Well, go ahead.
I think I think we just spoke about the tension between the two. I think it's about, for me, it's kind of like sometimes I still sit here, like I sit on my couch or like I'm in my room and I'm like, you really like moved across the country by yourself. Like you really did these things. And people ask me this at least 2-3 times a month. Like, what made you go there? Like, what made, you know what I mean? And it's like, they don't understand it. But I think there's a tension between where you are, where you think you want to be, and it's like who you want to be in those spaces. You know what I mean? And I can say without a shadow, what is that shaking?
Is that me shaking? I'm typing. Sorry.
Whoa, that's crazy that you typed that fast. Anyway,
I'm an admin. Okay. Side story.
It just sounded funny when just hearing it. But
I took a type. Remember back in the day we had to take typing classes? I took a literally like. And my newest obsession is this game. You race. They give you a sentence, and you race based on how fast and accurate you can type out this word. And I think it's a great practice because I'm an admin and I took typing classes. But I also used to remember back in the day we had the beepers that you had to call to the operators and take the messages. I was that girl. So I had to type fast to be able to take messages. A lot of doctors had those beepers. You call into the operator and you type in messages. I did that too. I was in high school.
So when I was in high
Sorry,
school,
off the
that's fine. When I was in high school, I took typing and business classes, but I got put out.
Excuse me?
I got put out the class.
Why you got put out, Jasmine?
Because I wouldn't cut my nails. I'll tell you something. I'm not saying I'm proud of it, but I have always been very firm on what I do and don't want to do. And sometimes you have to learn hard lessons. She was like, she said, if you come back here again with them nails, that's your last day. And I was like, all right,
and we already know those who know her don't like being told what to do. So already know he was like, cool. Bet. Watch this.
And I went back, and that was the last day I had to take it over because I had to pass it. Like I had to take it. Yeah. I mean, I had to, it wasn't, I had to take it over. I had to start over. It was whatever.
Was it worth it? Was it worth it? No, it wasn't worth it.
No. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why it was worth it. Because I learned the difference between being obnoxious, being disruptive, and making a point. That wasn't a space where I needed to make a point. I was being obnoxious. And high school was very challenging for me. I was being obnoxious. And that was in my, that's when I used to wear long nails with all the glitters and the stones. That was in my Mary J.
I mean, listen, the 90s was a time for nail airbrushing and all. I had
I was very much in my Foxy and Mary kind of vibe. And I was just like, no, I'm not taking this off. But I learned my lesson. I got kicked out of my earth science class too. But
so Jasmine says she took a typing class in 9th period, so she missed it often. See, my typing class is in college. Her name was Miss Tyree, almost like tyrant, and she operated like a tyrant. Her name was Miss Tyree, Tyre, and she literally was left by the whole drill, the finger drills, these, if you look at the keyboard, if I do it right, so BGT, this the way the keyboard is set up, there's certain finger exercises that you do. Well, I feel like these kids don't get nowadays. I hope they can still give typing like they need to. There's people over here typing like this.
No, I don't. I just saw a video yesterday. This kid talking to his mom, and there's I guess playing a game similar.
That's what I told you. I sent it to you. That's my new obsession. I play that game
now. Maybe that's why that came up in my damn feed because of you.
I sent it to you. Yeah.
Oh, that was you sent that?
Yeah.
And she was like, I can type though, but I don't type that fast. But
my time has decreased a little bit, but on a game, I got as fast as 50 words per minute. But I know I can get back up to 90, 80, 100. I can get back up in that range. But the game, you have to be precise as well as without error.
Yeah.
So I like that because it gets me back into my typing game, which I've kind of got a little lax on. Even though I'm a legal professional, I don't do a lot of word draft. I used to do a lot of document drafting. I don't do as much, and now with forms, I'm not drafting a whole memo. So it's a lot of just plugging information. Still requires a level of being precise in what you're doing, but it's not a lot. It's a couple words at a time. I'm not writing full paragraphs. The legal industry now is more about templates. You're not creating a whole document. You work with templates. So the next question. Go ahead.
No, I got a better answer to your question.
Okay.
I think the tension is the why. Because we always want to know why did something happen to us? Why did this thing happen to me? Why is this happening? It's just it's always, we get stuck in the why. You keep asking why. And sometimes by constantly asking the why, I feel like we can sometimes miss the lesson. And for me, it wasn't until the end of 2024 when I finally caught it, when I was having a conversation with my aunt, and then I had a conversation with Jasmine, and I was like, oh, God has sustained me. And this whole year I've been asking God, why? Why is this happening? Why? I've done everything I was supposed to do. Why? But the whole time I was just supposed to get the lesson and be thankful and recognize that I was being sustained. It wasn't easy. It was uncomfortable. It was challenging, but I was never homeless and I was never hungry and I was never without. My phone never went off. My cable never went out. Like I had all of the things that I would say are even, they're the bare minimum for me, but they're not the bare minimum for life. They're people who operate off of less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think through my whole process, I kept asking why. And I think that's the tension between the letting go and leaning in. I should have been leaning. There should have, well, I don't want to say should have, but in those moments, I could have been leaning into the fact that I was being sustained instead of just focusing on, well, why is this happening? And why can't I find a job? Why can't I do this? Why this? Why that?
Yeah.
But at some point it clicked. Oh, I needed to learn and I needed to kind of create my own relationship with God and not lean on residual faith from my grandmother. So sometimes asking, like figuring out the why sometimes can keep you stagnant and create tension.
And,
you know?
And sometimes we're never sometimes we're not gonna know the why when we want to know the why. And bring to the Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, which says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not onto your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him and he will direct your path. Because at the end of the day, he's doing the work anyway, right? So it's like getting to the notion of getting to the place or the resolve of being like, I don't know why, but I still trust you. And going back to what I was saying before about I don't got it. God, you know I don't got it. I know I'm not supposed I can ask why, but I know that you may not show me the why in the moment. And even growing and understanding to become with my delayed responses and being less loquacious. You may not see it in the moment, but it'll understand it. So Jazz just said, you can't always see God's sustaining power until some time passes. Right. So you got to, in the moment, it's like you just kind of, what's going on? But I want to get to a point where even in the moments of chaos, I'm at a level of peace where like, this doesn't feel good. It's uncomfortable, but I trust you. I want my first response to be, Lord, I trust you. Tears could be in my eyes. I could be on my knees. Because we're humans having a human experience, right? We're having a human experience. I don't know if we're human, but we're spiritual we're spiritual, but we also have a human experience. But that human experience is okay to have the emotions. It's okay to be upset. It's okay in the moment saying, but even in that space of being uncomfortable and being in distress, I'm still saying, I trust you. Like in Bible study, he was like, Job lost all of his children, fell ill, and his wife even said, looking at his situation, why don't you just curse God and die? And he still worshiped God. He still said, I trust you. So I'm working to get to that level of resolve that my first response is, I trust you. Because right now, I react first, then I got to talk myself down, like, I know I trust you, but I got to get that off my chest first. I got to work through. So that's the point I want to get to.
Yeah.
And to your point, why it could be where there's the tensions, right? It's because sometimes our natural disposition or our natural, whether it's learned or just who we are, we react a certain way. And the growth is learning. Yeah, so much freedom in that space, so much peace in that space. I won't have a lot of tension here. I'm talking to Jazz. When we learn to do the things. And so point four is moving forward. How do we practice letting go?
Yeah.
And by leaning in daily. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh.
So
sorry.
Because you said
Jasmine.
Wait, which Jasmine? Me or the because I did that too.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the tension between not participating in the BS and no longer being loquacious? What is the tension?
The tension is the habit. Is I'm breaking a habit. So it's the tension for me is literally the unlearning of it. And I've accepted that it's not linear. Is that the word? Like it's not a continuous. So my what I've been, I'm not gonna say it's my natural, but maybe it's my learned behavior.
Mm-hmm.
I typically want to fix and do, or I can find myself allowing things to get to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I know a lot of times the reason why things were able to get to me because I wasn't centered. So I've already kind of done the reflection and understanding the areas in which I kind of lost my footing is because I wasn't centered. I didn't prioritize it. Or maybe I even got a little arrogant in where I was. I think there's a couple of things. The arrogance of it, of like being comfortable where I was, but also recognizing that as you grow, the faith and the understanding, and that's going to grow too. You can't continue being like, if you're how can I say it? I want to get this right. So I know how to do something up to a certain point, my skill set. And as you grow and learn more, that's going to require like continuing legal education, right? I know enough based on my experience as a paralegal. I know enough of litigation experience to do the baseline of employment litigation work. But I want to continue to grow in this area. I'm going to have to take some continuing legal education classes to become stronger in this area. Because as I grow in this space, more is going to be asked of me. And what I already knew was just the baseline. I'm going to have to keep myself, because laws change. Different laws change, so I have to keep myself updated with the current laws, the changes, so to bring myself up to where I need to be to keep performing at a high level. So, or even like me wanting to shift into another area of law, I can start off using what I know, but to stay strong in that, and to be strong and get stronger, I'm gonna have to add more. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What was the? So I guess I'll do the last one. I'll start the last one off. What does that look like for us? What does that look like for you on a daily basis? So the next question was, moving forward, how do we practice letting go and leaning in on the daily?
So for me, that is being consistent. Like, so my morning routine is one way I've been starting in that. So when I get up, instead of picking up my phone immediately, if I'm going to pick up my phone, if don't have my physical Bible, I'm checking myself to say, read the word first, or read a devotion, do something that's going to sow into you. Whether it's listening to being mindful of what I'm taking in first thing in the morning. If it's music, make sure it's something positive. But really starting with just saying, I like to open my eyes. The first thing I do is like, even I don't have a long, drawn out prayer, Lord, I thank you for this another day. Thank you for waking me up. Thank you for my kids. Thank you for getting another day. That's the first thing I do. Thank you. Just giving thanks, gratitude. The second part for me is being consistent, like reading the word. And like those are the first two things right now that I'm working on being more consistent with. I've always been, faith is a big part of me, who I am. So if you know me, before I started going back to church, faith has always been a part of who I am, but me more intentional about reading the word and getting understanding for myself. So right now, that's what's helping me in my personal process of letting go and leaning in. Is prioritizing, centering God, recentering God in my life. That's how I'm doing it. And Jasmine, how are you moving forward?
So today, it's literally me just acknowledging that I have to lean into something, that I have to move forward. Like I can't stay where I currently am, because it's not helping me move forward. You know what I mean? Like, if that makes sense. So that's the first part. What my goal is really, and also getting back into my daily practices. So there was a time when I would wake up like early, do some yoga stretches, do some weightlifting, um, do my prayers, do my meditation before I talk to people, before I engage, on a very basic level, just kind of do things that strengthen me. And I realize that I'm not doing that at the level that I normally do it. So like I wake up, I'm in bed, I'll go to my app, I'll do my devotion, I'll say a prayer. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just get up out of bed and I start working, brush my, and I start moving, and then it's like an hour later, and I'm like, oh wait, I didn't I didn't do what I needed to do for me first before I started engaging with people. So that's what I want to be more focused on. I want to be more focused on how I start my day and what my process looks like. I feel like once I get that back into a flow, then me just running downstairs for the gym won't feel like such a heavy lift.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes, and it's like, damn, I got a gym right downstairs, right? And it's like sometimes I feel like the whole day has gone by, and it's just like I just need to sleep. I need some rest, but I haven't been sleeping the way I'm supposed to, So it's like just getting my day started on a good note,
Right.
which means I need
Yeah.
to sleep properly. I need to get at least 7 hours of sleep, 8, 9 if I can, and then I need to kind of like be
I ain't
very
never been that girl. 6, 7 hours. I ain't never been that girl.
really. I mean,
I don't know what it is. I can get a good 4 or 5, but I don't 6, 7.
yeah, like
I got to be sick to be to
I
sleep. I
wonder
don't.
who you could be if you
Maybe
slept
that's
7
someone
hours.
used to say to me like that. Someone Sky used to date. Not to be Sky date many moons ago. He used to always be like, "You don't sleep. You don't sleep long enough." I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. It's just my mind works. My mind's always going.
Yeah,
But I
probably
wonder
got one
if
too during that time.
yeah, I don't get enough sleep. I think, but maybe when we start to let go, that'll help our sleep. And to your point, like
Absolutely.
even working out more, getting more active. Right now, I'm definitely in a stall of working out, and many of those who follow me know when I'm in my bag, I got a Peloton bike sitting right here in front of me. Okay, like I can get there. I know how to get back into that. I know, and even when I was one of my, I had a position when I was on my short-term assignment as a project manager, and I was on international, what do you say, like schedule. So I was working with people that worked in Paris. Like my main majority of my stakeholders were based in Paris. I was up super early because they're 6 hours ahead. So during that time, I was working out. Like the spiritual side wasn't there, but I had a routine. I would get up, I would work out, and that would help with even my brain fog. I had clear, I was sharper, and I was able to manage and work for the different time zone. I'm working with folks in Paris because they're 6 hours ahead. So I know the positive impacts that having a good routine does when you have a good habit of working, like prioritizing meditation, prayer, reading, just having a good morning routine in general. Whatever that morning routine is, the first fill your cup, because how can you pour out of your cup if you don't fill it? You got to fill yourself up first. Yeah. I think it's like prioritizing, filling my cup up.
Yeah.
And what that looks like. So I can pour into others, because if we both in the roles of operational, we're dealing with a lot of different pieces and parts. We have to be able to, we're pouring into people. So we have to prioritize filling our cups first. And then if I got to take a nap, sometimes I work from home. I don't work at home every day. I do 2 times a week. I'm at home, work from home. Sometimes my lunch break is just laying down. To be real, like I lay down.
I'm curious to see how you would feel if you slept 7 hours. And the only reason why I say that is because I suffered with insomnia for like 10 years, and I didn't know that's what it was. And I remember I used to always tell Lauren, I'm not a morning person. I don't like, And once I started like adopting like all of these like wellness things, I started being able to go to bed. And like sleeping 7 hours and waking up, I was like, shit, this is what this feels like. And I think that's one of the things that I'm experiencing too. When you experience that type of wellness feeling in your body and then it goes away, it's like you're grabbing at straws. because I'm like, I need something back. I need sleep. And
because
for me,
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah. This other thing, I have to do more research. So you know how they always say we need like 8 hours of sleep? You ever like hear studies? That study wasn't even based on women. I heard
based on men, wasn't it?
Yes, it was based on men. They was like,
was it based on white men?
Girl, don't start with me because I can go. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. But
I knew what I was doing when I did that.
No, don't do that. Don't do that, Kiki. Also, that's what I forgot to mention as a part of my joy is understanding what's happening in the world and being resilient. And I'm gonna stop right there. But yeah, so this study was based on like men, and actually it would be better if we were able to get 10 hours of sleep, right? But in this country, with the way we work and the way capitalism is and the way our lives are set up, who can sleep 10 hours? Okay. Now, I don't have no kids. I could if I really made it a habit. But what is the likelihood of you being able to sleep 10 hours with the life that you live, Kiki? Is that realistic for you?
Exactly. You just hit the nail on the head. Like, what are we talking about here? I'm responsible for 2 human beings. I mean, one is an adult, but I'm still responsible for that human being, right? So just I'm in this is my era of definitions. I like definitions.
Also, time out. I want to give you kudos. I don't know if you realize that. You done looked up like 4 words today. And I meant to say that earlier. I was like, Kiki she on her dictionary bag.
We're going responsible podcasting. Okay? That's what we're doing. We're going responsible podcasting. You ain't take my mic away. I ain't gonna buy here spreading falsehoods. Okay? We're here because this is a safe space, but we also want to be accountable. Like I'll go on that little tangent in a minute. But as you're talking about, insomnia is a common sleep disorder that makes it hard to fall asleep or stay asleep. Now, I think when we think of insomnia, we think like the worst case scenarios. We slow down when we think about insomnia. What the symptoms are, and this I'm like, well, maybe I struggle with this. Maybe this is something I'm dealing with. Symptoms are waking up early or having trouble falling asleep, feeling tired during the day, having trouble focusing, feeling irritable or anxious, and making more mistakes. Causes are stressful life events, hormonal changes that happens on menstruation, pregnancy or menopause, aging, mental or physical health conditions, irregular sleep schedules, consuming caffeine late in the day, taking certain medications, and using screens before bed. Now, I don't have no problem going to sleep. Now, Jazz, I go to bed. My problem is I wake up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And if I'm not careful, I will be up until an hour before I need to get up for work. And here I am. Yeah. And I know that comes from, I am the head of the household. And I am the one that's responsible for making decisions. And I'm not where I want to be. I have been in a place where I'm more financially secure. I know what that feels like. And I know when I'm in a better place, I definitely sleep better. That's real. I was gonna say something, but this is why my husband gonna have to pay for everything, because I don't like the stress of being financially responsible for a household, because that's why I have insomnia. So the Lord knows what I need. I need my husband to pay for everything, so I have to sleep. I want to sleep. I want to be Sleeping Beauty.
I hear you. I have no commentary on that. I don't know. I can't fathom.
I want my own money. I'm gonna work and have my career, but I don't want to. I'm being funny, but
you don't want the stress.
I don't want the stress. We can share. We can share the responsibility. Right. I'm not looking to be a stay-at-home. I mean, listen, if God has that for me in the future, I fully submit. But I also have a full career, and I like to do the things. I don't want to. Okay, here's the thing. I don't want to have to do it. Yeah. But I like to make money because I like money. I like nice things. So like, I want to use some of my money to luxuriate. I don't want all my money to go towards managing a household. I want to put it towards buying a bag, a spa day. I want a recurring spa schedule. You know what I'm saying? I want a recurring, whatever that means. If I want to buy a bag, I'm gonna buy a bag. I mean, I'm getting to the point I can do it on my own, but I'm just saying, dude, I don't need someone, but I desire that. But I want to tangent. But I'm saying is managing a household could be, and you're managing a lot of different parts. I know it impacts my sleep, and the wheels are constantly turning. And this is why I'm leaning into letting go of the BS, which includes overthinking, because that's not adding value, and leaning into my faith and understanding that I may not always understand what's happening, but I trust God. So I think even that practice will help. And I pray, Lord, hear me, that it will improve my sleep. Because a lot of times it's worry and anxiety of, okay, I got to move this bill to move that bill. Money's a little tight. It's not as tight as it used to be. Because 2024 was a year of repair for me, restoration. And a point now I'm like, okay, I'm finally like, whew, that's not a good place to be in. Like I've had 2023 was it was a strain on me financially. Unnecessary. It wasn't by my own doing. And I was having panic attacks almost weekly because it was like I would get one thing, another one thing come up. It was like I'm just trying to dig myself out of something that I didn't put myself in. And I was dealing with the feelings of feeling mistreated unfairly with this burden that I didn't create, but now it was left on me to handle and pay down, so I can, because my responsibility is to make sure my children have what they need. So I take pride in providing for my children. So I never want them to say they came home and ain't no lights on, there's no hot water, there's no heat. That is unacceptable for me, to me as a parent. So I will do what it takes to make sure. And sometimes, even I remember I got hit with a bill and I was like, I'm going to cancel my birthday trip to Hawaii. I'm not going. I'm not, because I don't see how. I don't see how I'm going to be able to do it. The trip's already booked, but this is too much. And that was like, I had won that trip. All I had to pay for was my flight. The stay was covered. I won it through my job. But even just the having to pay like for the everyday food, I was like, yo, I got too much on my plate. And my mom was like, go, you're gonna go on this trip. Things worked out, and God, God used my support system to help me to get to that point. But yeah, like I'm getting there, but people don't understand what it is to like run a household. And it's in the comments made like, you don't sleep. I'm like, yo, I want to sleep, but I got a lot of stuff on my plate. But I want to get to the point where my faith is strong enough, and there still may be sleepless nights if we're down the road, but I want there to be less of them. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, I pray
that there, but a little rant, but yeah.
It's okay. I pray that you can get to a place where you can sleep for 7 hours. But think about what you said in terms of like having a partner so that, less things are burdensome like on your mental. So it's two things that came up for me. I was watching this clip today of this pastor, and he was talking about like the role of women in like the church. That's a different conversation. But then I went on his timeline and he said something else. And he was like, and I agree with this because I've been in leadership positions, for like the last 8 years of my career, whatever. And he was like, a good leader does over communicate. He was like, because it's better for you to over communicate than for you to leave things unsaid. Because when you over communicate, you are clarifying. So wait, let me finish. You may find that the other people are annoyed by your over communicating, but they now have the clarity that they need to move forward. So it's like, as a leader, you got to decide, are you more concerned with people being annoyed by your over communication, or are you more, or do you prefer for them to have clarity? I choose clarity. And it's funny because I used to always say, like in meetings and things like that, listen, I'm an over communicator because I never want people to walk away without direction and without clarity. because you're not going to come back to me and say that I didn't tell you every piece. You're not going to come back and say to me, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. Okay, well, then you weren't listening, because it's not that I didn't communicate it. So I just wanted to offer that to you, because this whole the word loquacious, and what it means and how it comes up for you.
Yeah.
I thought about that, and just as my wheels have been turning. So I just wanted to pour that into
I like that.
you.
I like that, because what you're saying is being loquacious is a sign of natural leadership skills. That's what you're saying. That's what it sounds like.
I said what I said, and the pastor said what he said, and I accept.
Gotcha. That's not true. I receive that. I receive. Listen,
I hope that you do.
I don't take it as an insult, because I know when I do speak, 99.9 that I'm not a liar. So when I speak, it's because I see something,
and it's something needs,
and I'm able to speak to it to be clarified. And I'm also naturally, I'm a strategist and a visionary. So when I do speak on something, a lot of times that I'm passionate about, because I already, not that I can't be corrected, because last week we talked about my burning the bridge, my stages of setting boundaries. Not gonna be wrong, but a lot of times it's based in sincerity and truth,
and observation.
Yeah,
even if it's based on a judgment, it's still something that you feel needs to be addressed. And I do think a lot of people don't understand what leadership really means. Leadership is not giving orders. Leadership is looking at a situation and seeing everything that's happening, and what is the best way that this can benefit everybody. Leadership is not just, I want to be in control and I'm powerful and I'm running. No, leadership is
storytelling. You have to share. You have to tell a story to get the buy-in from the people who you want to lead, so they feel comfortable and understanding the role they play in helping the vision.
Exactly. You got to know every role. You got to know every character. You got to know the ups and you got to know the whole story.
You got to know your role, and you can help me see my role, so we can get to the big picture. So the word judgment, and you got to know, it has multiple meanings, and including, let me just define judgment, because judgment is a big word. Judgment has multiple meanings, including the process of evaluating circumstances to make a decision. It can be a course decision or an opinion expressed as fact. Expressed as fact. Now, doesn't mean it's fact, but it's expressed as fact. But I want to go back to the first part of that definition, the process of evaluating circumstances to make a decision. The evaluation of given circumstances to make a decision. So we got to think about when someone makes a judgment, because it's most likely following an evaluation or an observation of a set given circumstances that they encountered or experienced
or identified
based on their experience in the current situation, that they're saying, hey, based on what I'm seeing here, this is what it looks like.
And this is how I think we should move forward.
And that's how we should move forward. Now, rather than getting defensive or stuck on, because judgment doesn't have to be negative, just like using the word competitive. It's all about how you say it and your delivery. I can say something nice and say, hey, I think you're overreacting. I'm going to give you another one. I'm going to use a real life example. Yesterday, you said to me, is it because you didn't get what you wanted? Right? And I said to you, I don't agree with that, because when you say that, I hear, it sounds like to me, you're saying like, I try to control the outcome. And you said, but that's not what I said. I said, I understand, but I'm communicating to you why it didn't hit right with me, because when you said that, it sounds like this to me. But that's based on it felt like a judgment maybe in that moment. And I expressed to you why, but that's based on my previous experiences. But we have to, like you pointed, so I said, okay, I know what you said, but I'm being vulnerable and saying, when you say that, this is what I hear. So this is why I'm pushing back. But I'm remaining open because I know that wasn't your intention. But I'm telling you why there was a little bit of resistance from me here. Because when you said that, this is what I heard.
Yeah.
This is the power of self-awareness. Because a lot of times what happens is you say something, I hear what I hear based on my lived experience, and I get mad and I shut down on you. Rather than saying, hey, I'm a little resistant to what you're saying because that you say that I hear this. And that this has nothing to do with you. So I have to be self-aware enough to be like, you know what I'm saying? And unpack why is that thing?
Why did that statement bring up that thing? And that's your work.
That's
right?
my work.
Yeah.
That's the power of self-awareness, the importance of self-awareness.
Absolutely.
Because I can feel like you just judged me there. You telling me I could, because I could have went off on a spiral like, oh, you trying to say I'm trying to control the situation, control the outcome, and make them do what they didn't want to do. Like I was trying to create my own storyline in that, and then because I didn't get what I wanted, I tried to manipulate. You trying to call me a manipulator? I tried to manipulate the situation. I could have went on a whole tangent based on what I heard. That's not what you said.
And I think then the other part you did. Well, it doesn't matter. That's not the point. But the other thing too, just in general, is like it takes a lot of work and responsibility to respond to what someone said, not how it makes you feel.
Yes, what they said.
That is a lot of work.
It's work
because words have meanings. 1,000%. You know me. That's not what that word means. I don't understand. I'm one of those people. You got to explain that to me because that's not what that word means. So, but in order for you to be present in communication, whether it's conflict, whether it's observation, whatever it is, in order for you to be present in those moments and actively like listen to what someone said and be cognizant that, okay, I know that's not what you said, but this is how it made me feel. Takes a lot of work. That's a lot of bandwidth.
And that's why I'm tired. And I said at the beginning of this podcast, I'm tired. The healing work is tired.
But you've been very expressive.
I warmed up a little bit. You know, this don't take me long. In the beginning, I was very giving you high level. And I think next,
you did really good. You did good today. I just,
maybe I need a little prime. I need a little prime. I had to get, because I was like, I was feeling a little squeaky in the joints. I was like, I don't feel like this today. And next week we'll cover like, I think it's so, maybe I don't know about next week we'll talk about, but I still want to unpack when you are feeling the work of healing and how to rest during that process, taking time off. I'll give some quick points, but I think I'll love to flush it out some more in another episode. But like when, recognizing burnout, like I'm actively saying I'm burnt out of the healing process. I'm taking a rest, right? Because even that work of like saying, oh, you said that and I heard this, self-awareness, that was a lot. That was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. I mean, no, not for me, but I'm saying I know you was over it.
Because at first I kept saying I didn't even phone with you songs. I didn't want to do all this with you. Like I didn't want to do all this.
And I was like, okay, but I'm not complaining. Right. You're the only one. Like I'm listening to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I take pride in listening to people.
It's a gift
when they listen.
Everybody don't listen.
But I also, and like I said to you last time, when I think it was Jerome here, and I was like, I got a little emotional about it. I push you like that and I get on your nerves like that because I want you to always acknowledge that you are actively working. And I think sometimes when we're going through healing journeys and we're growing, especially when we're growing from a situation with another person, or when we're like trying to heal from things that are a part of other people and like other people's existence, my stuff is just me. I'm like, there's no relationship, there's no person that's keeping me up or that's actively, like, I'm actively trying to like navigate to that level. I got residual frustration from things from my past and like people, like shit that I, from growing up. But like currently in this stage of my life, I'm not dealing with what you're dealing with. And I think a lot of times as we're going through things and we're healing and we're growing, I think sometimes we don't recognize that we are expanding in those moments. And like sometimes, not to get into all the details, like I say to you all the time, like I need you to like really acknowledge how much growth and how much you've changed in these last 6 months. How cognizant you are when you say something, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe I need to like, you know what I'm saying? Like even the conversation last week about the turning the tables and flipping and burning bridges, like even you acknowledging in that moment, okay, maybe that was reactive. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then even the conversation that you had with the other person yesterday when they was like, all right, let's play this back, right? That other conversation you had with the other person. Even though we are all, like we're friends and we know each other and we laugh and we joke, like iron sharpens iron. Yeah. I'm not here just to kiki and laugh and make jokes. Nah, we're here to push each other. Yeah. And we're here.
My pastor said you gotta put. He had us push each other today.
Like we gotta push each other and we gotta hold each other accountable, right? Like me and you have been having a conversation that I don't really want to get into, but in terms of like this particular situation, and you asked me yesterday, like, hey, so has my perspective on that thing changed? And I was like, no, it hasn't. I'm still not pressed to move forward in that space and do that thing yet. I'm still not there. And I'm like, but I'm open, right? And but I have a update and I should.
Okay, but I want to say this to you, like when you talking about to me about the work that I've been doing, the hardest thing for sometimes, and thank you for affirming me, and I think that going back to the why, we don't always understand why God sometimes in different seasons, like we have all friendships, and sometimes God will give you like a co-pilot or even like a passenger in certain journeys of your life. And if you look over your life, there's certain friends who will co-pilot with you or kind of ride with you on certain areas of your life. And I knew the hardest part for me was during that process was, and what I had to get confidence in is like, I'm doing the work to meet someone where they are, but the efforts that I was making was not being acknowledged or reciprocated. Oh. One part was it being acknowledged because I knew, and also at moments, this is my experience, it felt like it was being weaponized.
Gotcha.
Because of my vulnerability, like I'm not always vulnerable in the most romantic ways or the most like affectionate ways, but my vulnerability comes through my transparency. And my transparency and knowing that I can have some toxic ways, I can have some bullish ways, I can have some passive ways. I know I could be a little people pleasing. I know I could be a little bit more passive. I know I could have passive aggressive ways. My vulnerability in those areas, there's no judgment of that person, but put into the wrong hands in general can be weaponized against you. And to me, I see now the reason why you were there, because there's many times I felt like, am I bugging? Because I'm really trying to do this. Like, I'm doing it because, like Jasmine said when she was on the episode, when you love someone, it's a sacrifice that you're willing to say, okay, even like today, my pastor said, what worked for you, even if it was good, when you're going into partnership, even the good things that work for you as an individual may not work for you in going to partnership. And because I'm marriage minded and my goal is long-term relationship, and I've been in a couple of relationships and I want to approach this differently, I understand that even things I'm comfortable with, I've never even heard my friends have never complained about it to me or it never was problematic to me. If this person I'm trying to create partnership with needs something different from me, even if it's different for me, I'm willing to consider it as long as it's not hurting me or I'm not losing myself. Where I had to take a step back is when I began to feel like I was losing myself. And also the second part was the efforts I wasn't making felt like they weren't seen or even appreciated, especially in moments of times of conflict. So for me, when I look back, I'm grateful for you and my therapist. Like, I'm not gonna be straightforward, because sometimes I was like, is it me? Am I like, that bad? Like, I got my shit. Everybody know Key a little crazy, but like, come on, like, work with me here. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's real. I think that's real, and I think that's honest. And I think so. It's like you ever see like being honest, right? And saying, "Oh, my bad. I ain't mean to step on your foot."
Right.
But then you continue to step on my foot. I don't have to give you grace if you keep stepping on my foot, and we've already identified that you stepping on my foot hurts. Okay. Right? We've identified that this hurts. And you keep apologizing. I don't have to give you grace in that space, because you're doing the same thing over and over again. Right? But then there's a situation where you've stepped on my foot. I've told you, you've acknowledged that you've hurt me. And now the person who stepped on my foot is saying, hey, how can I fix this? How can I make you feel better now that I've caused injury? And from my perspective, that's what you were doing. And that's who you are. And that's how you're showing up. Hey, I may have stepped on your foot. No, not that I may. I stepped on your foot and I apologize. How can I make this better? How can I improve this thing? But I also think, as humans, we got to acknowledge that we're insecure about a lot of shit. And sometimes getting your foot stepped on, or being the one to cause the harm, it's hard for people to accept that you hurt people. Like, if you get to I feel like if you get to a place in your life and in your space just as a human, and you can never accept the fact that you may have caused harm, then you're already behind the 8 ball.
There's another part to that too, because even so, also this we have to consider too. When someone does step on your foot, your reaction to them. So if you step on my foot, and I start wailing at, oh my God, you stepped on my foot. You meant to do that. And you're like, whoa. I don't even see you. That's not what I was trying to do. Why would you step on my foot? I got my new J's on. I was just trying to get it over to the side. I didn't even see. My bad. I'm sorry, but you don't see my foot. So also, we got to be mindful of our reaction to the offense.
Yes.
If your first reaction is when somebody steps on your foot, it's immediate. You thinking they intentionally. You must have. You saw my new sneakers. You knew what you was doing. I was just walking hastily and I stepped on your foot. I'm sorry.
And
your reaction can cause trauma. Is that the word trauma? Or a wound?
Yeah. It can cause harm.
Cut someone. That's the word. Your reaction to someone offending you can cause harm.
Yes.
And then you wonder why now someone's like, okay, based on how you responded to me stepping on your foot, now I'm like this.
Now you're walking on eggshells?
Oh, because because you fly off the deep end. You're not even considering that it's me. That's like if Madison breaks a glass in the kitchen and I use that opportunity to release all my frustrations on her, my work, my relationships, my family stuff, my friendship stuff. You know what? You broke the glass. You meant to break the glass. She's like, Mommy, it was an accident. So now what's how Master going to operate if next time a glass breaks? She's going to start crying. She may get anxious, have a panic attack because she's remembering the way I responded to her. Rather than saying, Madison, it was an accident. Things happen.
Yeah.
Just be a little mindful, or next time, make sure your hands are dry. When you're gonna have to be a little more, you have to be present when you're managing glasses. So make sure your hands are dry. Pay attention in these moments, right? So when you're handling me, listen, I require a little bit more softer touch.
Absolutely. But I think that's self-awareness, right? Being reactionary, how you react to things requires you to be self-aware. And that's for anybody. That's for anybody. Yes. Because one, right? I can't tell you how something made you feel, right?
No.
Because you know what? And just to bring back like the conversation we had yesterday, when you said this is what I heard, and then I think the next part was like, I forgot the word that you used. For me, right, in that moment, I was focused on, but that's not what I said, right? But now I'm thinking, right, as we're thinking and we're having this conversation, I'm thinking even in that moment, I was focused on what I said. I wasn't focused on how what I said made you feel. Because for me in that moment, I was affirming you. But that's not what you heard, right? You didn't hear affirming. You heard somebody blaming you for something, right? So it's like, even in this moment, like thinking back, me being self-aware, I heard what you said, and it didn't make sense to me because that wasn't what I said. But what you were saying was, somebody has said this to me, and this is how this thing makes me feel, right? However, in that communication between the both of us, because we both understand that we're not trying to hurt each other, it didn't escalate to this other thing. It was a back and forth conversation to gain understanding
of what you said and how it made me feel. But also, I was also open to say, I know that's not what you meant, but I'm telling you what I heard when you said that. Like,
that was it. That was it. Because you knew what I meant. That's what it was. I was like, but it's not about what it meant. It was not what I said. Because I was focused on the words that I actually used, not what it meant.
But for me, I was affirming, I knew your intention. So that's why I'm not hurt by it. Because I know what it feels like for someone to not see your intention. Like, you get what I'm saying? So that comes from my experience of being misunderstood. Yeah.
But even in this moment, right? I'm thinking that I'm because I understand that that's a trigger for you.
Right.
Being misunderstood. So even in this moment, because I do care, and because I know that that's not my intention, and me being self-aware, I'm like, she felt misunderstood.
Right.
And now I'm getting more clarity, right? Because if you're self-aware and you're in relationship with people and you care and you're not trying to be right, you're trying to get to a level of understanding. So now I have a deeper level of understanding. Okay, when I said that, she felt like I was misunderstanding her. But that's not what my intention was in using that phrase.
That's why I was careful in saying to you, I hear what you're saying, but I'm pushing back, and this is why I'm pushing back. I didn't say I'm pushing back because you're I didn't say I didn't say you are judging me. I said when you say that, I hear this based on.
I got you. And then when we broke down what I said actually meant, it's like, no, it's not that you were controlling. No, it's like buyer's remorse.
Right.
We was like, and then it was like, okay, cool, we get it. Like, now it makes sense. But I think that kind of work takes root. It takes a lot.
It's a lot from both people. It's a safe place that we had to curate that. That's years of friendship and curating a safe space. And a lot of times, well, you're more direct and it also helps because of who you are, because you don't have a problem having difficult conversation. I do. Right. So it helps with this dynamic because I'm the one that's going to go into hermit mode. I'm going to just shut down and go into internalize. You're like, no, bitch, come here. I'm talking to you for a second.
Come out that hole.
I don't want to talk about it. No, we're going to talk about it. But that helps me because I am we're setting boundaries and not redefining, but really coming to who you are. It's going to call for uncomfortable conversations. And I hate uncomfortable conversations, right? So building that muscle is like, this is an exercise for me. Yeah. And so when I do have relationship, I know how to cultivate and curate, but also knowing and how it helps to, I know you gotta have the person has to be open to it. Like you can't do somebody that's not willing to move. Like you gotta protect your peace. Yeah. So like I appreciate you in that space and in this space to, and I think it's important for all of us to like, a lot of us don't know how to deal with our emotions. A lot of us shut down or reactionary. I have been, I'm not exempt to that, and learning how to operate differently. And yeah, so like I can do it. It's easy to do it with my kids. They can do it with certain people, and other people it's like, I don't want to do that, you know. But getting comfortable in that space, but also getting confident. Yeah, go ahead.
No, some people in your life require different things from you. There are certain relationships that I have that I'm very mindful of how I communicate with them, because I know that it can go from 0 to 100, and I don't want that to happen like in my life anymore. Yeah. And like I remember I had a conversation with one of my cousins not too long ago, and it was like I went from 0 to 100 in less than 2 minutes. And I know why. Because I had already been disgusted with this situation. I had already been over it. And I had already come to a conclusion that this is not going to change, and I don't want to have these conversations with you. And this person called me in the middle of the night and was insistent on having this conversation, and I lost it. I just lost it. And then afterwards I was like, okay, I can't do that anymore. And this is the other thing that I struggle with. This is a challenge for me. When I say things, I mean it. And I'm very cognizant of how I say things to people. And I try not to use words that are very definitive. Like, you ain't shit. Never, like, I'm mindful of that part. But if I tell you I don't like something, or if I tell you I'm angry about something, 9 times out of 10, if I said it, I meant it. And that's the challenge for me, right? I'm really looking for ways and opportunities for me to be open to apologizing more. I just haven't had a situation that I can honestly say intuitively, and my spirit is like, you need to apologize. So that's the work that I'm doing. Being mindful of what I'm saying to people. So even in this moment, right, being based on the conversation that we had yesterday, I'm gonna say to you, and this is intuitive, and I feel it. I apologize for how I communicated my thought, because it wasn't my intention to make you feel like you were being misunderstood in that moment. Like I apologize for that, because that wasn't my intention. And now that I'm listening and I'm thinking back to the conversation, you felt like you were being misunderstood again. And that wasn't my intention. So I apologize for that.
I accept your apology. However, can I give it back to you? Because I don't feel like you need to apologize.
No, but I'm taking it. No, you don't, like, seriously. I'm actually trying to work on something. Because
I'll take it, but I'm like, I don't know that was a moment for you to apologize, because I wasn't offended. I was like, just here. I was okay,
but I have to practice that, because Kiki, I'm gonna tell you something. What they say?
That's real.
You know what they say? Like, heavy lies the head that wears the crown. I'm right about a lot of the shit that I say. Quite often.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I tell
you was right in what you said. It's just that I was telling you what I heard.
But I apologize for how it made you feel, because that wasn't my intention, right?
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that what I'm learning, and I really want to get clear, because I've even had this conversation with Jasmine, and I'm just like, yo, like, what do I need to work on in terms of how I treat people? And I ask people all the time, because I'm never trying to be like perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm really actively like, where are the ways where I can be better?
I think, like, you're very. This is this high level. You're very direct, and people are not always used to directiveness and come off very harsh. I know because I have ways like that can come off very. I can say something. I have a very sharp tongue, but my heart is soft. Your heart is pure. My heart is pure. So I think that's the part that sometimes our delivery, while we're thinking we're just speaking truth, they're like that cut, and it's not intentional. And so I think sometimes directiveness and assertiveness can come off a bit curt or short to people, and that's one area. I think the first level of awareness. I think that's it, and then learning to be like, okay, listen, I'm a very direct person. Like introducing yourself to people, I am very direct. This is who I am. This is like you said, learning to tell people. You said yesterday, you was like learning people to tell you, "Hi, my name is Keosha. I'm a Libra. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I could be a little short and my bark is bigger than my bite. I don't like to fight. I really don't. Got a little saucy and assassin, like a little hot spice to me, but it comes from a really sweet place. And if you take the time to get to know me, you'll see that. And a lot of times I may start off a little stronger at the beginning because I have a little bit of wall up. But as we gain trust in the relationship with each other, you'll notice that I'll begin to soften up. And you'll see that's where I'm from. So if I ever come off a little bit too short with you, let me know. Yeah. Make me aware. Because I know this is the way I operate and the way my mind thinks. I'm a fixer. Like you said, I'm thinking of just quick responses. I'm thinking of ways in what I can fix. If you told me, and I've learned this even with men, like men are the ones who like to create solutions. But being a solution-based person, I've learned to be quiet and let men talk through their things. Because it's not my job to fix nobody. Unless they ask me, Keosha, can you help me with something? Well, that's my job to assist you. But I've learned to let men talk, just be a listener. My job is not to fix you or help you. Unless you say, Key, I need your help or I want your input in it. I've learned to be a listener to.
I feel like that is a part of my disclaimer when I talk to people. But here's where I get frustrated with folk. Okay. I'm an educator. Right? I've been educating people for a very long time, right? People come to me, they ask me for things, they ask me for my opinions, they ask me for information, they ask me how to do things, and I try to help them do those things. Yeah. I try to be honest, I try to be very clear, this is that and this is that. But one of the things that frustrates me is that you're asking me for something because you trust something in me. But then when I give it to you, now you're offended because you didn't like the way I gave it to you. But you came here seeking my way. I can't change my
way. That's not your responsibility. That's different.
This is what I'm saying, but this is what happens a lot for me, and it gets frustrating. Because like it's not that I don't want to help, but it's just like this is what
so like you said to me sometimes, I want to tell you, but you're not gonna listen, so I'm gonna tell you.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, don't ask me if you don't want the truth. And one of the things I don't want a lot of people I care about. If I don't care about you, all right, cool, yeah, that works. Like I remember people send me music to listen to, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is a good start. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a good start.
This is a good start. Like, yeah, I see a lot of potential here. But like, if I care about you, you really want my opinion about something, I'm going to be honest with you. And I think sometimes it goes back to like heavy lies the head that wears the crown. Like I am able to like really see things for what they are, and like, hey, well, maybe this is something you should work on, or maybe this is something we can improve. Because I'm doing it with myself on a constant basis.
Sometimes people don't want to be something. Sometimes people don't want to be seen.
Then don't ask me. Don't text me, call me, email me, or inquire about my opinion or what it is if you don't want the truth from me. Like, I don't know how to navigate that.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. That's your listen. If you don't want the truth, please do not call me.
Don't ask
because
me.
I'm not gonna. Don't.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then also,
I think you get a one and done. If you call me and ask me for my opinion, you act away. That was your last call, Jasmine card. That's your last call, Keosha card. Don't call me no more.
I don't know what to say. And it's just like I also don't believe in lying to people to make them feel good. I don't not somebody I care about. Like if you just want me to like sugarcoat it for you and say it, I can say it well. Now I'm not gonna just go off and say crazy stuff to people. I'm not gonna just say, "Oh, your breath stink." I would never say that to nobody. But it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna say it, so I'm gonna try to say it well. But it's just like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like people be wanting too much from others. But anyway, this is going too far. Yeah. But I just feel like
I almost thought was gonna do an hour and 30.
I thought so too. Okay. I thought so too. But I just, I feel like we're all a work in progress. I feel like give people grace to a certain extent. Be mindful of how much grace you have to give. And when your grace has run out, go to wherever it is you need to go to like recharge. Yeah.
And we want to heal. We want to operate from a place of rest. We want to heal from a place of rest. So my little spiel is this: resting, healing is not linear. It's okay to take the moment to rest and say like, hey, right now I don't got it. And it's okay because healing is work. So prioritize your rest, as Jasmine talked about today, so we can pour into our cups so that we can pour into others. And sometimes you can selflessly pour back. Just pour into yourself. Sometimes all you need to do is pour into yourself. So prioritize your rest. Healing is ghetto. It's extremely ghetto at times. I don't like it, but it's necessary.
What you do is so beautifully. You do it with style. I'm not even being. You see, I'm being genuine. That's so real. I wasn't even being sarcastic. That was that. Listen, I was affirming you. I get it. It's annoying. And I would say Jasmine and I had that conversation, and I was like, I'm not going to use that phrase capacity anymore.
Okay. You don't want to. You just don't want to do it.
Yeah, I don't want to use it because I've been saying it. So it's like I no longer.
What I'm saying is just that you don't want to do it. It's not that you don't have.
Yeah, like I don't. Yeah, I no longer want to put energy into this thing. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. And we're releasing the things that we can't control and doesn't serve us, and we're leading into things that grow. That we're leading into the things that add value.
Yeah, and people might not like it, but it's okay. That's good. You want to see what I'm growing? You want to see what I'm growing?
Sure. Because you're gonna take this you're gonna take this longer than it needs to go. Go ahead, go show me what you're growing. So we wrap this up.
No, I'm not.
What are you growing? What is that? Onions? Scallions?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's your first plant.
No, I've done it before, but they grow back. They grow. If you put them in water when you fry them.
I just never do that, but I'm proud of you. I love that for you.
Yeah, I'm growing some scallions.
That's like your indoor farm. Yeah, it's baby steps. Okay. All right. Well, y'all, it was great tonight. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Episode 9. We gave you the best that we had today. I gave you the best that I can with what I got. And thank you for tuning in, for listening to my loquaciousness. Because today we learned today that loquaciousness is a sign of leadership. Take that.
Over communication is a sign.
I shouldn't say that. No Diddy. Sorry, that was a Diddy dance. Sorry, y'all. That wasn't inappropriate. Sorry.
Oh well.
Don't cancel me. Maybe I'm not cancel. Am I cancelable? Am I cancelable? Cancel.
I don't know. But maybe next.
I'm not even big enough to be canceled. So I did a Diddy bop. No Diddy. Sorry, y'all. And listen, I'm from the '90s. Diddy was a part of our growth. I'm not.
Don't explain yourself. This is why people get in trouble.
But it's culture. That's what happened with freaking what's the name today? Because he said that homeboy was. Listen, this is a habit. We grew up in the '90s. Bad Boy was a big part of our youth, a big part of our upbringing. So okay. I watched. Okay, all right, y'all. Oh, Jerome just joined too. We're wrapping up. We're trying to not do 2 hours and 30 minutes today. We almost listen. We almost ended at 1 hour and 30. We kept talking.
And then we kept talking. We doing too much.
Yeah,
we have to unpack. Hey, Jerome.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up. Thank y'all again for joining us. Everyone who tuned in, we appreciate y'all.
YouTube on Wednesday.
What time, Jasmine? Ooh. Okay, I want everybody on this live stream to touch and agree that Jasmine's going to get a little better with her upload time. She got one job. Upload at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays. Say it, Jazz. Say I'm gonna upload it. Say it. Let's speak it into
I
existence.
will.
I'm going to upload
I
the
am
full
going.
episode.
I'm not going to talk while you're talking.
Okay,
So
go
you're
ahead, say
gonna
it.
give the instruction.
Go ahead, say it. Somebody say Wednesday. Say Wednesday.
So I am going to upload the video this Wednesday so that it premieres at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Praise the Lord. Come on. I'm so proud of you. I know that took a lot.
I am not above reproach.
Growth looks good on you, friend. Growth looks good on you. You apologize and you took a directive. Are you? Did you bring out high? You all right?
Okay.
Jerome's clapping. I'm so proud of you. I'm not gonna push it. All right, y'all.
She can't help herself. And she know goddamn well what I'm struggling with this laptop.
She hot.
It's okay. I need a new laptop.
We a team. We'll make it work together. If you gotta tag me in. What are we talking? Don't do that. Let's go back a couple episodes. Like, I ain't uploading this week. You gonna have to do it. Remember that? Remember all that Nectar you was doing a couple weeks ago? I got people in town.
I don't remember me doing all that.
It was very aggressive.
Okay, I ain't gonna front y'all. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be transparent.
Here we go. Last week, we like a Black Baptist preacher. You forgot?
I did. I forgot. Oh God, I forgot. I did. I'm sorry. I apologize.
All right, we're gonna ask God that He touches your mind and helps you with your memory. All right, y'all. For real, this time we leaving because we acting like keep saying we're gonna end. We keep going back. Keep going to 15 minutes. Love y'all. Have a great week ahead. The upload will be up. The full episode will be up this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Say 7 p.m. All right.
7 p.m.
Wednesday, 7 p.m. Turn to your neighbor. Say Wednesday, 7 p.m.
I just want you to know all of this is not going to be in the episode. Bye, y'all.
That's fine. You're not going to edit me out. Okay. I will make this a highlight. I don't care.
You can do that. I don't care. Go for it. You know I love coming.
Bye. We're not doing this. Bye, y'all. Bye. Because here's how we go. Going to 30 minutes. I'm ending it now. Bye.
I just ended it.